Our guest today, Elliott Erwitt, is one of the most talented and versatile photographers of our time. An accomplished photojournalist, a successful commercial photographer, an independent filmmaker, the one-time president of Magnum, he is also an inspired photographer and humorist. And it is for this, which the public would call his serious work, for which he is widely known and widely admired. A warm welcome to Elliott Erwitt.
Elliott Erwitt, born Elio Romano Erwitz in Paris in 1928, is celebrated as a photographer who brought humanity's oddities to life through humor. Known for his striking blend of wit, insight, and technical mastery, Erwitt's legacy is unique for its comic yet deeply perceptive outlook. In an era when acclaim was often reserved for images of war, poverty, or nature's grandeur, Erwitt stood out by seeing the world through a playful, observant lens that highlighted the absurd and the heartwarming in equal measure. Erwitt's childhood was shaped by constant movement, as his family fled the rising fascism in Europe. With World War II imminent, they immigrated to New York City in 1939, where Erwitt's life transformed, filled with both opportunity and the challenges of adjusting to a new country. His parents eventually separated, leaving him in Los Angeles at age 16, where he found solace and inspiration in art. His photographic journey began at Hollywood High School, where a chrome-plated Argus camera first captivated him.
Well, I took pictures at school events, such as senior proms, things of that sort, and that paid a little bit. And then I took pictures outside of people, children, dogs. I guess that's how, and then I made prints for people. That's how I started.
What started as an attraction to the camera's aesthetic quickly evolved into a lifelong pursuit, as Erwitt documented the world around him, from neighbors to beachgoers, with an unpretentious, insightful eye. A pivotal period in Erwitt's development was his move to New York in 1948. There, he encountered legendary photographers Edward Steichen, Roy Stryker, and Robert Capa, whose mentorship would profoundly shape his career. Through Stryker, he was assigned to document Pittsburgh in a groundbreaking photo essay capturing the grit and transformation of an industrial city in post-war America. His eye for detail and talent for capturing unguarded moments earned him a reputation that soon led to more significant opportunities. After serving as a photographer in the U.S. Army, Erwitt returned to New York and joined Robert Capa's Magnum Photos agency, where he quickly rose to prominence. His 1953 photograph of his wife and newborn daughter was chosen for a landmark MoMA exhibition, The Family of Man, curated by Edward Steichen. This era also saw Erwitt traveling internationally, often capturing pivotal moments in history, such as the famous 1959 kitchen debate image of Nixon and Khrushchev, which underscored the tense dynamics of the Cold War. Throughout his career, Erwitt's assignments brought him into contact with iconic figures from Jackie Kennedy to Che Guevara and Marilyn Monroe. The charm and intimacy of these portraits, whether of world leaders or Hollywood stars, became his signature. His work on film sets for movies like On the Waterfront and The 7-Year Itch resulted in some of the most enduring images of the era. In all these endeavors, Erwitt continued to capture humanity's quirks with a balance of empathy and satire. Erwitt's love for dogs became a defining theme in his photography. His books, Son of Bitch, and later collections like Dog Dogs, celebrate canine charm and whimsy, capturing dogs as only he could, full of personality, emotion, and absurdity. These photos reflect his unique blend of humor and insight, making him one of the most versatile photographers of his generation. Over the decades, Erwitt's images from Provence, France, 1955 to his iconic dog series permeated popular culture, often uncredited yet omnipresent, transcending the typical boundaries of photography and resonating with audiences worldwide. The whimsical charm of Erwitt's dog photography stands as one of his most beloved contributions to the medium. Known for capturing dogs in humorous poses or alongside their owners, his canine portraits are at once comical and profound. His photographs play with scale, expression, and context, transforming the everyday into scenes of subtle comedy. A notable example of this is an image of a woman's crossed legs with a dog's paws peeking out from under a coffee table, embodying his knack for finding humor in the smallest of details. Though known for his dog photography, Erwitt's versatility stretches across various subjects. His images of celebrities like Marilyn Monroe and Jack Kerouac displayed the same intimate humor as his animal portraits, carrying a casual honesty that went beyond the glamour often associated with these figures. Henri Cartier-Bresson, a friend and mentor, praised Erwitt's ability to seamlessly switch between commercial and personal photography, blending technical skill with an unpretentious love for spontaneity. Erwitt's compositions often bordered on the absurd, but struck a chord with many. The visual jokes in his work, such as a Coca-Cola machine shining in a missile display in Alabama, highlight these strange juxtapositions in modern life, where consumerism sits alongside the threats of the Cold War. His portfolio wasn't confined to humor alone. It was filled with humanity's contradictions. His famous shot of Richard Nixon and Nikita Khrushchev during the kitchen debate captures the tension between the two leaders, conveying the intensity of their ideological clash with an unfiltered immediacy. Erwitt's photographic philosophy rested on the belief that a photo's impact didn't come from lofty themes or even from dramatic subject matter.
I really don't think about the big picture or what I'm doing, as I mentioned before. I just take pictures and hope that something comes out of it. I don't go into taking these snapshots, and they are snapshots, with any large idea, large cosmic idea or philosophy or something. If something comes out of it, I'm delighted, but I'll let somebody else decide on that.
As he once explained, you could take a picture of the most wonderful situation, and it's lifeless. Nothing comes through. Then you could take a picture of nothing, someone scratching his nose, and it turns out to be a great picture. For Erwitt, photography was less about chasing grandiose moments and more about finding the extraordinary within the everyday. He understood that a true photo didn't need external validation to resonate. It could be as simple as a fleeting, unguarded gesture, which often spoke volumes. Erwitt also kept his artistic approach grounded, avoiding the complex, jargon-heavy interpretations common among art critics. He was clear about his preference, remarking, "In general, I don't think too much. I certainly don't use those funny words museum people and art critics like." This resistance to overinterpretation was central to his style. He didn't view photography as a medium for abstract symbolism, but as an honest way to capture life as it is. Funny, sad, confusing, and beautiful all at once. By keeping his process intuitive rather than intellectualized, Erwitt maintained an authenticity that allowed his subjects to reveal themselves naturally, without the imposed filter of critical analysis. This straightforward, intuitive approach not only defined his work, but allowed him to maintain a lighthearted connection to his craft. Whether photographing a political debate or a dog's curious expression, Erwitt approached each subject with humor and an open mind. His distaste for funny words and the critical theories often ascribed to photography meant he saw the medium as an art form best suited to the moment, rather than to premeditated messages. Through this lens, Erwitt's works endure not as an artifact of any singular style, but as timeless, unpretentious celebrations of life in all its spontaneity. Speaking of unpretentiousness, Erwitt's alter ego, André S. Solidor, ASS, as Erwitt cheekily points out, brings a satirical lens to the kooky excesses of contemporary photography, and the pretentiousness he finds rampant in the art world. Solidor is a caricature of a stereotypical quote-unquote serious artist, complete with beret, sunglasses, and dramatic poses, all meant to poke fun at these self-important personas that Erwitt saw emerging in photography. These images are far removed from the authenticity he values in his usual work, and instead play with the artificiality he views skeptically in contemporary art. In creating Solidor, Erwitt underscores his philosophy that photography, at its best, should capture life's natural moments, rather than forcing meaning through contrived compositions or conceptual art speak. As Solidor, he parodies what he sees as artifice, producing flamboyant photos filled with gratuitous nudity and ridiculous smoking fish heads. These images push back against the quote-unquote funny words of critics and curators, words Erwitt always found hollow. By embodying this absurd alter ego, Erwitt frees himself to mock the pretensions that often overshadow photography's true purpose, connection. Though Solidor is born in jest, his character has a deeper purpose in Erwitt's creative journey, balancing his body of work that emphasizes subtlety and humor with an exploration of playfulness and satire. This split highlights how Erwitt uses humor as a tool to reveal truths about both the art world and human nature. Through Solidor, Erwitt essentially expands on the philosophy that a picture's value lies not in the grandeur of its setup, but in the authentic resonance it captures, or, in Solidor's case, the absurdity it exaggerates. Elliott Erwitt's photography transcends technicality and tradition, capturing the human and animal spirit with a light touch and a discerning eye. His works invite viewers to see the world as he does, filled with irony, warmth, and beauty. Through an uncompromising vision that combines humor with a deep-seated respect for life's unpredictability, Erwitt has secured his place as one of the most beloved photographers of the 20th century. His legacy, rich with laughter, introspection, and artistry, continues to resonate as a testament to the power of seeing beyond the surface.
I think most people take themselves a little bit too seriously with pipes in their hands and things like that. So I thought by doing something a little offbeat might be more interesting. I have no particular thought in mind.
Very often the gestures of both humans and animals are elements that you seem to focus on and create the humor in a picture.